Alright, so today we're going to be breaking down Sabri Suby's $10 million per month sales funnel. If you don't know who Sabri Suby is, he's basically the founder of King Kong. He's also the author of the Sell Like Crazy best-selling book. And we're going to break down exactly how both of those things play into his funnel and how he's making $10 million per month off of that. Alright, so I know exactly why you clicked on this video, and so I don't want to waste your time, so let's just get straight into the funnel breakdown. First of all, we're going to break down Sabri Suby's TikTok. On TikTok, he has 18,000 followers, so right now he's pretty small. But on his other social medias, he's much bigger because he's very new to TikTok, as you can see in the bio. Internet Daddy, of course, this is just his personal brand, as well as founder of KingKong.co. As you can see, the videos are getting insane views at 3.9 million, 350K, and 500K, as well as all of these other videos doing numbers other than the pinned videos. But for the pinned videos, the basic psychology that he's following here is that he's getting people to know, like, and trust him through each of these pinned videos. The way he's doing this is that one of the videos is going to get people to know him. So for example, let's say it's this video. Second video is going to get people to like him, which let's say is this video. And then the third video is going to get people to trust him. The way you're going to do this is the first video is going to showcase exactly what you do in a more relatable and a more interesting and humanized way. And by making your video more relatable, it gets people to know you as being relatable and a more human type of person instead of just being some random guru on the internet. You get people to like you by showing off a piece of your personality. So for example, something you like doing. So for example, if you liked cooking, you put that in your bio. Even though it's completely unrelated to what you're selling, it humanizes you in the eyes of the viewer and makes yourself feel more relatable. Lastly, the way you get people to trust you is through showcasing your expertise. This, for example, in Sabri's case, would be breaking down how multi-million-dollar or multi-billion-dollar brands are breaking down their marketing and how exactly they're marketing to the point where they can be making this much money. For example, a very successful series that he has is his series about like Hermes and all these luxury brands and how they get you to buy stuff and the psychological triggers that they use. For the main videos, he's mainly doing clips from his long form videos as well as a few promotions. For example, for the Sell Like Crazy book right here that he's hoping goes viral, and he's copying the most popular strategies at the time. And he also sometimes posts for backstage footage from like Shark Tank or any other event that he's going to, and then he makes a meme off of that and posts it on the TikTok or the Instagram. And speaking of the Instagram, let's go ahead and check that out right here. So on the Instagram, Sabri is way bigger at 300,000 followers. He's got 1,000 posts, so he's been posting for a very long time. Internet Daddy, again, founder of KingKong.com.au, and then Shark on Shark Tank Australia. Both of these are building a metric ton of social proof because of course he has a brand behind him and he's on Shark Tank, which literally everybody knows what Shark Tank is. And then finally, get your free copy of my book. It is a very low commitment CTA since it is literally a free book, but obviously you would be giving him your address as well. So when you get on the page, he will need to obviously build a little bit of rapport with you to the point where you can finally trust him to give him the $1 for his book, which I'll be getting into the book funnel in a little bit. For the actual content, it's literally the exact same stuff as on his TikTok. As you can see, he'll repost the videos on for the TikTok on the Instagram. Sometimes videos do really well on the TikTok and not on the Instagram, and vice versa. For example, here, this video absolutely flopped on the TikTok, getting about, 2,400 views, and then here it got 150,000. So that's the power of posting in between these two platforms, because they have very different audiences. Instagram is more nurturing and more conversion based because you're reaching more of your current audience, whereas TikTok is more reach based because you're reaching a very broad cold audience, but you're barely ever reaching your current audience, which is how you actually nurture people, by making them see your face as much as physically possible. And speaking of nurture, the main social media, the absolute best social media for nurturing is the YouTube. And so let's get into the YouTube. Now, YouTube is literally Sabri's main social media. He's been doing this for a very long time. He has 367,000 subscribers, but he has literally more subscribers than he has followers. And if you guys know anything about YouTube, you'll know that YouTube subscribers are worth 10 to 15 times more than Instagram followers. So him having, up to a point, of course, but him having 300,000 followers, or 300,000 subscribers on the YouTube is probably worth more than 1 million followers on the Instagram, for example. Subscribe for eternal good luck. This is a little bit of course, like a little bit of his personality. As I said before, just a little bit of his personality. You're being introduced to him as being very happy-go-lucky and super laid back. And you'll also see that his profile picture is also, again, reflecting that same exact laid back type of feel. But then on his content, you'll see he's very serious in most of these actual thumbnails, but he's very, very nonchalant and chill in the actual videos. For the videos, he's getting consistent 50,000 view videos, and then every once in a while, a video will go absolutely insanely viral at 500,000 views, which is getting him an insane number of brand new customers. He'll do a lot of different types of content, but we're looking at a main 3 buckets. Those are the top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and then the bottom of funnel content. Top of funnel content is anything appealing to a very broad audience, just generally in your niche. For example, if you're in the make money online niche, or for example, if you're doing e-com, you're in the more wider make money online niche. So you'd make videos about how to make money online, or you make videos on how to manage money. So it'd be very broad videos that include your current audience, or they include your ICP, but it's not specifically targeted to them. Middle of funnel videos are value-packed videos targeted specifically to your ICP to get them to watch more of that and get them to get a ton of value from the video so that they keep coming back to you for more. And then they finally think, if he's giving away this much value on his free videos, what could he be giving away for a payment? Then there's the bottom of funnel videos, which is to get those stragglers who do not get converted off the middle of funnel videos. They want to see actual proof. So you post case studies, breakdowns. For example, this funnel breakdown video that I'm doing right now is kind of a bottom of funnel / middle of funnel video. That's why it's not going to get many views, but the actual quality of the views, for example, you're watching this right now, and chances are you're in my ICP of coaches and consultants with an existing audience, or people who want to launch a good coaching offer. His main series looks something like this: how this celebrity brand brainwashes you to buy this amount of money in their product. So for example, Rolex, how Rolex brainwashes you to buy $80,000 watches, how Hermes brainwashes you to buy $70,000 handbags. Both of these went insanely viral and got the same amount of success very, very quickly. But a lot of people fall into the trap of just repeating the same successful video over and over again. But at a point, people will get tired of it, and then that video will be saturated. So the best idea to do in this situation is actually to not be posting this video constantly. Instead, have a break in this video, like post 3 or 4 other videos, other types of videos, even if they won't do as well. And then you can post the more successful video or the better video again, and your audience will not be tired of it because you aren't spam posting it. And also you'll reach brand new audiences with this brand new piece of content that went absolutely viral. At this point, after people are nurtured through the YouTube, we're going to go ahead and move them back into the Instagram. A lot of people fall in the trap of just trying to convert on the YouTube, which is just stupid. As you can see, Sabri has literally linked his Instagram in his bio for YouTube. That's why don't try to convert people on the YouTube. Instead, funnel them into the Instagram where you can DM them, talk to them, and then set them in the DMs onto a call with a closer. So after they move into the Instagram, they're going to go to the main page for the Sell Like Crazy book. This is the first rung in his value ladder, and his value ladder goes extremely deep. So he'll get you to buy the Sell Like Crazy book for right over here. So he's going to redirect you to the landing page. And an interesting thing that I saw here is that, as you can see, both of these pages have very different flags. This is because he will go off of your location and change the flag. And this just adds that little bit of personalization where it's like, oh my God, it feels like it's very specifically targeted for me, especially if you live in a country other than the US. It feels extremely specifically targeted towards you. Even though it's a small thing, it definitely does make a subconscious difference because it feels more personalized and it feels like Sabri's talking to you specifically. Free book giveaway. So instantly telling you exactly what it's about. He's not trying to beat around the bush. Shark Tank investor agrees to give away 10,000 copies of his #1 best-selling book just to prove his marketing strategies work better than anything else. Now, this is a really good attention-grabbing headline. First of all, he's explaining exactly what value he's going to give you. And then he's also building a little bit of scarcity since he's only giving away 10,000 copies, even though he isn't, because this offer has been running for like a few months now. And he's definitely sold more copies than 10,000. And then he also says #1 best-selling to get that value absolutely shot up in your mind, and then just to prove his marketing strategies work better than anyone else, just to make sure that there is a reason behind this. Obviously, nobody's going to do this without a reason. So by giving a reason, you get people to drop their shoulders being like, oh, this is exactly the reason that he gave me this book. And so there's no ulterior motives because I've already spotted the ulterior motive because he literally told me. And swears under oath that his #1 best-selling book does not contain any illegal or unethical and mind control tactics. Now, this is just a little bit of humor, which is just really, really good because it's humanizing Sabri. Obviously, after this headline, you know he's trying to sell you. But now he's humanizing himself. He's building a little bit of a personal connection with you. He's getting you to chuckle a little bit. And getting people to chuckle is the best way to build a little bit of trust with them and get them to like you. Because if you can get them to chuckle, it'll release dopamine. After you release dopamine, they will obviously make that connection between you and the dopamine. And obviously, they will keep on coming back to you to get that feel good again. You'll then see the VSL. This VSL is an absolutely amazing VSL. He goes into a lot of detail on the book, but he does not just do that. It's not a very boring VSL. It's an actually enjoyable VSL where there's a ton of different shots. Literally, it's just a ton of humor across the VSL, which again, it's getting you to chuckle and it's getting you to actually be interested and invested in the VSL, especially if you can add humor into a VSL. If you can add humor to a VSL, the VSL instantly becomes that much more valuable. The reasoning is because if you can get people to chuckle, you will make them drop their shoulders. And once you, after that, start pitching them, then when their shoulders are dropped, when their guard is down, you can actually hit them where it hurts. And as you can see here, he's not doing a boring ass CTA like apply now or buy now. He's going for rush me a free copy. He's going for something very, very different. It can literally be anything, even slightly different. Like, for example, book me in or something like that for your calls. It's very, very simple to implement and it actually does make a difference. And then you'll also see a little bit more urgency, fake urgency again, stock of this book as of just today's date. Probably he has some code going on in the background that just grabs today's date, puts it up there, and then says, oh, the stock is low for today's date. And then he also just has this permanently there, making you think the stock is actually low when it's really not. He has a lot of stock left. You're going to see a ton of testimonials from absolutely huge people. For example, Dan Locke. You're going to see Craig Ballantine. Absolutely huge people, especially Dan Locke here in the business space or the author space. And then you're going to see a 5-star review, even more social proof. Then you're going to see throughout this page, the copy is really, really well done. For example, like I have only been able to grab just a little bit of this page because Myro won't even let me add more. But the basic framework we're looking at here is that he's going to go into a story/pitch. And then after that, he's going to give in another CTA saying, rush me a free copy. Again, current stock of this book as of July 24th is low. Then he's going to give you a little bit of social proof. And every single time the social proof will be different. He's not spamming same damn video testimonials again and again. He's changing it up. Even though it's text testimonials, he's changing up the design. He's changing something up to make it look novel and new. After that, you're going to see again more and more and more. This is going to keep repeating. And that's why let's go ahead and move over to the webpage version to see the rest of the actual website. So now we're on the actual webpage. And as you can see, we're going through an absolute metric ton of really, 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 really good copy. And again, you're going to see after he gives you the copy and after he pitches you, he's going to give you even more of a different type of social proof. Now he's giving you pictures of people with the book. And then he's giving you screenshots of people saying that how good this book actually is. Obviously, I'm not going to bore you by repeating the same damn thing again and again, but this is basically the whole exact framework that he's using for the rest of this website. And the copy is extremely professionally done. Like it's insanely good website, especially for the length of this website. If you read through this whole website, there's no way in hell you won't be sold. It's such a long website and such a good website. You could honestly be using this for even $1,000 offer and this might still convert as good as your VSL. You'll also see right here a quick risk reversal. Book is free and I'll pay for the book. And all I ask is that you help me cover the small shipping and handling cost. This is what I call a book funnel. A book funnel is basically when you introduce somebody into the funnel by giving them a very just completely free book or a very cheap book at like $5. And then you just ask them, yeah, just cover shipping and then we'll send it over to you. Shipping literally just covers the cost of the book and shipping. And then after that, once you get the book, you'll read the book, get that value, and then you'll be like, okay, so I've got so much value just by investing that single dollar. Obviously, you cannot give this book away for free. Book funnels do not work unless you are paying, they're paying something. They have to give you their credit card, no matter what. That is a no-brainer for a book funnel. But that's why it works so well. After you have their credit card, after they've given you their information, after they actually have a little bit of skin in the game, they trust you way more after they get the value from your book. then they trust you enough to the point where they can actually buy your higher ticket offers. As you can see, he's going to keep on going. And here he's going to start telling you about a ton of bonuses. And this is basically going to be just extra stuff that you get along with the actual book. And all of these bonuses are completely free. And then at the end, you're going to see a little bit of a personally signed note. Then you're going to see so many PSs. And then finally, it's going to be the end of the page with the FAQs at the bottom. Now, this is where you're actually going to sign up for the book page. At this point, he's going to say this is a strictly limited offer with the red font, or sorry, the red background with the warning sign as well. Digital ebook and audiobook also available for instant download on the next page. Yes, I want this book. Sell Like Crazy retails for $23.95, a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And so what he's saying here is that he's price anchoring. He's saying it retails for $24. And now you're comparing that $1 to the retail price instead of whatever price you had in your mind, which usually is $0. We want to make them related to an absolutely huge offer so that we anchored their price at like $1,000, $2,000, especially if we're looking at a coaching program. Try to be value stacking and be like, oh, you're getting $18,000 worth of value and stuff like that, to the point where you inflate the value of the product in their mind. A good rule of thumb is that you want them to think of a number 3 to 5 times more than the actual cost of your product. So if your product is $2,000, make them think it is a $10,000 worth product, to the point where they would be okay with paying $5K, $6K. And then you give them and you hit them with that $2K offer finally, and then you convert them extremely easily. You'll see right here, it's checking whether the book is available. And it's really not doing that. It's completely available at all times. This is literally just making you think that it's an absolutely insane value that you're getting for this $1 before they show you the actual price. Then they make you think, oh my God, I don't want to go through that again. And maybe it gets out of stock by the time I come back here and, choose to buy it later. So then at that point, you're going to be like, okay, I need to buy this. You'll also see physical book, audiobook, and ebook plus 7 reports. He's upselling you right here. And as you can see here, he's doing a little bit of price anchoring. $410, and he strike that out, and then $37. That is the most basic form of price anchoring, and you'll see that on every single e-commerce store. Obviously, it still works. That's why Sabri is using it. And then you'll also see on the right exactly what you're getting. And then finally, most popular option. He's taking that tribal sense inside of you where you're like, I want to be like everyone else. And he's going to be like, upgrade my order with the audiobook and ebook. If you get that, it's $410 of value. You can't miss out on that. You need to get that. Plus, you're on the booking page already, so you might as well. And this probably upsells 5 to 10% of people. And when you think about that, that's 5 to 10% more on your bottom line on this book, which is literally just free money. A lot of people don't do this, and it's really, really dumb. As you can see in the corner right here, you'll see a little bit of a pop-up. That is a pop-up to tell you, oh my God, there's so many people buying it. And so it's a little bit of social proof as well. And you'll also see a little bit of a exit pop, and he has this on both pages. Due to the strictly limited nature of this offer, you must confirm that you're permanently passing on your chance. You literally are not permanently passing on your chance at all. I've gone to this page like 5 times. It's just trying to get you to buy right now. And it's just very, very high pressure direct response marketing. And a lot of people think, oh, this doesn't work, but it really, really does. And so from what I can see, I'm personally convinced to actually buy the book for $3. Obviously, it's not an insane investment, but let's go ahead and see exactly what he does after you actually buy the book. After he's bought you into the book funnel, the basic thing that he's going to do is that he's going to try to upsell you into that $37 upsell. If he can get you to do that, he will then try to advertise the King Kong business right here. But before he actually tries to upsell you into King Kong, obviously he has a ton of qualifying products. The qualifying product is basically a product to qualify your customer for an even more expensive product, because you don't want to just upsell them into a $600 course out of a $1 product. That would make no sense. So he's first going to upsell you into a few other products. This will be basically what it would look like. So a first qualifying product would be about 10 to 20 times more. So that'll be about $20, let's say. After that, the second qualifying product, you want to do 5 to 10 times more than that. So let's say $200. Now, at this point, you want to do the same thing again and again. You just want to repeat this. Now, let's say we do 5 times more. That would be a $1,000 product. And then finally, we keep going up and up and up until you finally reach the point where you're actually able to sell them your highest ticket product. In this case, for you, watching right now, it would be your mentorship. The way you can implement this is very, very simple. Add in like coaching, community, free community, all that jazz, $1 community. These work really, really well for a funnel. So if you can add in all of these downsells and upsells, you can very, very easily squeeze out all of that lifetime value out of each and every customer. And so that was Sabri Suby's $10 million per month sales funnel, broken down into the nitty gritty. I went into exactly how he structures his TikTok, his Instagram, and his YouTube to maximize the front end organic traffic. Then I also went over exactly how he structures his landing page to maximize conversions for his single $1 product. And then I went over exactly how he uses qualifying upsells to make sure that each of the products he funnels into the King Kong product are qualified buyers that he can actually help, which at that point is going to make him an absolute metric ton of money, even just from this back end. For example, if you upsell them into a $20 product from a single $1 product, that means you just 20x the average order value of one of your customers, which is, by the way, a 20x increase in your business. Obviously, that would only be if 100% of your customers bought the $20 one, which is just not feasible. But that would still result in a decent uptick in people. Even if 10% of these people bought it, that's a 10% increase in your average order value, 10% increase in your actual business. I hope you got a ton of value from that video. If you were interested in working with me, go ahead and DM me down below on Instagram, or go ahead and check out the landing page. We can go ahead and talk. It's not going to be some kind of setter or anything. I'm going to talk to you one-on-one and, just like talk to you, have a normal conversation with you. Whatever questions you may have about this, I can go ahead and answer them. And if you want to go ahead and give me a few suggestions for future videos you guys want to see or anything like that, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I read almost all of my comments. And so whatever your idea is might actually be in the next video. If you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, go ahead and check this one out right here because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. If you want to watch the whole funnel breakdowns playlist, which has probably $500,000 worth of just pure sauce, go ahead and check it out right here. And if you want to leave a like and subscribe, which I would very much appreciate, go ahead and click this button right here. So hoping to see you in this next video. Goodbye.